Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I am your guide, Elpy. Let's see if this works. Today is the 17th of January, 2025, and we are in mixed worm bin number 1. I have my tripod set up and I'm putting on 2 gloves because I think that might make what I want to do and what I would like to do efficiently easier. So the last time we were in here, I still got these mosquitoes coming out, was the 12th. Now we got lots of worms on here. Blue worm, young worm. Mostly blue worms. Okay. Now the plan, what did I say? We were in here the 12th, so it's been 5 days. This is, by the way, part of the Time for Pie series. Oops. And the 12th was, let's see, 9... It's been 26 days. This is day 26 of the Time for Pie series. And the series is going to end for each bin when the piece of pie is gone. Now, my plan for these guys, I took some notes and I didn't bring it down. But I believe my plan for these guys today was that I am going to start separating the big chunks. We got a long ways. See, there are worms on top here. Nice looking worm at that. I tried to use the tripod once before, and I don't wind up liking it because, actually, I do have a remote for this thing somewhere, but I like to be able to get in and get down close, which I can't do with the tripod. And even now, as I think about it, I set it up because I thought, well, this way I can use both hands, and we don't really need to dive in, although you can't really see, can you? There's some really nice looking worms up top here. But, oh, sorry guys, but you're good. These are breeding worms. See, I can't even... They're going to get disturbed no matter what. All right, so yeah, my plan is I am going to feed them, I think a relatively small feeding today, and we're not going, we might add a little bit, I have shredded paper, so we might add a little bit of shredded paper to the feeding area, but mainly what am I going to be able to not love that? But mainly what I want to do is move, like I said, efficiently move bigger chunks and try to separate things. So here is, this corner is the Time for Pie feeding, as evidenced by all this paper. So it would seem I'm way more goal-oriented today than actually checking on the worms. But last time I was sick. I was full-blown. Well, I was feeling pretty crummy, but I could not do the check-in. All right. So here's our root ball, a woody root ball with some pepper seeds on it. I think the thing to do, we got a lot of worms, would be, I was thinking that I would start collecting things for the other side. So wherever I'm grouping the material is the side that's going to be harvested last. Wait. Yes. Yeah, so okay, now that I feel like since this, no. All right, finish your thought. I was going to say, I feel like since this side is where the last feedings were, it's going to be where there's juices and stuff, and that's going to help the breakdown of material. But if I'm moving the material, then it's going to be wherever the material is. So, let's just go ahead and dig in here and see if we even find the pie, because that piece of cardboard, look at all these great worms. I feel like that piece of cardboard I just pulled up looked exactly like what the pie was on. That is a pumpkin stem. That still sounds juicy down here. Oh, it's not as juicy as I think. Lots of worms, as we would expect. Okay. And I don't see any evidence of the pie. I'm not really seeing much evidence of food, period. Which is what I expect to find. It is not much, except for a whole lot of worms. There's a little bit moisture down here. Okay, we're a long ways. This is not typically how I do things, but this is how I'm envisioning running this process this time, is doing this sort of separation. But I'm not going to get any sort of divider because this is really just a sort of preliminary move if you will. Yeah, so I'll look back over the material as I move it back in here. Whoops, wrong thinking. But it would appear that the pie is gone in bin 1 26 days later. I need to keep reminding myself that I'm not trying to get this perfect right now. But now, like I said, this is not usually how I do things. But this is how I've decided to do things this time. Let's move these clumps of mostly worms and castings. And then we'll put baby worm. Where's the camera? And we'll put these, because the pie, look at that nice big cocoon. The pie was on a piece of cardboard like that. Okay. Yeah, that cold was something else. I don't get sick a lot, but it feels like when I do, it does tend to be in January. And I was tired. I had a little bit of a fever for a little bit. I had a wicked sore throat, headache, body ache. I was cold a lot. It was, hopefully, there was nobody valuable in there. Okay. Let's get these pieces moved over here. So yeah, it definitely appears as though the pie is no longer. So, like I said, nice little bundle of worms there. Sorry for the rocking, the bad angle. In order to put my phone the way it needs to go on the tripod, part of the screen is blocked by the apparatus that, see, I keep not moving my left arm because I bump it with my left arm when I do. But yeah, part of the screen is blocked by the apparatus that holds it in place. Okay, so here's some other stuff. Well, that was a good little separation there, if you will. Here's some more pie-looking material. So, like I said, this is not going to be a necessarily complete move right now. I'm saying that to myself in part as well, so that I don't become obsessed right now with getting exactly everything moved. But it feels like that was just so easy that I should do more. I feel like it wasn't that long ago that I was talking about harvesting out a little bit of sulfur smell down here. Yeah, and I don't think we've been in that corner in a while. I'm realizing that hey, what's up, guys? Sorry for the interruption. Well, it's very good we're doing this because of that little bit of a smell down there. But I realized too, again, not prepared for that because where's the material I'm moving over there? Well, I forgot for a second that we had, a couple weeks ago, see, I think it was on the 6th, I put a whole grocery bag in this upper left corner because it was pretty wet down there. So that is actually, this was either okra or amaranth stalk. Breaks down pretty nicely, doesn't it? So definitely I was thinking about adding shredded paper to the little bit of food. Well, wait, we're not that close to harvesting, so I will still add shredded paper to today's feeding. Wow, look at that. Paper bag isn't very absorbent, is it? It is and it isn't. I did just kind of jam it down there. So we are going to use this as part of today's feeding. And so what I'm going to be feeding is fruit. No, yeah. And fruit is very wet. So I could just say I'm not going to feed fruit, but that's what I have to feed them. So I am going to add shredded paper, which I prepared a bunch of, and I did actually prepare in advance. Okay, let's go ahead and push this stuff over there. Try to grab any. There's a tea bag that probably needs to go out. I'm not actually going to leave it today for no reason other than because. That's right, we got our breeding worms over here somewhere. They've probably already separated, I'm going to assume, if that's how it works. So with the fat chance that these worms are still over here breeding, I'm not going to dive into this upper left corner we're just going to leave it as is and be satisfied with the movement that occurred today. So 26 days and the pie is finally gone. And we've started a sort of separation here, division. I said I wasn't going to go over there for the sake of harvesting. That is underway. All right, so here's how I'm actually going to feed in the middle. 1, because I want to dive into the middle, and 2, because I never dive just straight into the middle. Put the shredded paper more on the right side, but I also want the heat from the feeding to be able to radiate outwards. I was going to feed along the back. I'm going to dig all the way down. Okay. And then we'll put, I need to take at least a glove off. We're going to put the shredded paper down first, well, on top of what I knocked down there, and then we'll throw the food on top. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. It is a lot, but we got fruit, so it's going to be a lot to absorb. The persimmons, we got a lot of persimmons in that food donation that we picked up. Compost donation. So, oh, and I also got some leftover riced cauliflower. Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. Someone else is going to get this. One of the smaller bins. Or maybe, yeah. Okay. Messed up my... Alright. Trying to adjust it so it'll stay in place. I still didn't do that right. I went and got the food. And, okay. We're going to give them... These guys can handle a lot. A whole bunch of persimmons. Gotta think about who all I'm feeding. Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. You still with me? Looks like it. Let's actually pull this up a little bit so the paper's kind of all in there. Why does that feel like it's touching my actual hand? Let's put some of our dry mix. And then it's just for the dry mix. Okay. All right, so there's our January 17th feeding for bin number 1. It is officially done with the time for pie. I know I said I was going to put the shredded paper more that way, and I didn't. But it's okay. Because again, we're not like... I'm not saying, okay, we're doing the harvest of castings. We've got a long ways to go, but it's promising to see how things are. And like I said, just get in the mindset of moving things. And I realize that it doesn't make sense to just only, because in my head I'm like, gosh, I can't only feed on this side. No, we're not there. But that was a little bit bigger than that'll be good though, because hopefully it'll start getting enough heat sooner than later, because we're about to get really cold, and though this is the basement, it's still affected by the outdoor temperatures, obviously. Yeah, okay, so we are moving things a little differently here. Now I'm going to not add as much, going forward, paper, and after this feeding, I'll probably, and I say after this feeding because I kind of forgot this part, I'll feed less. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to start feeding them less to kind of encourage them to look around, see what else is out there, what else should they eat, and also that's going to make the bin really wet, and that's going to last at least 10 days. So I need to focus on turning it, getting it turned, helping it to dry out, which is not what I just did. But I'm turning my mindset slowly. So, okay, so bin 1, we are moving away from, we need to move away from the large wet feedings and start thinking about having this stuff look good for castings, for harvest. Awesome. All right, well, let's move now to bin number 2. Okay, I got this whole process. We'll put our thermometer down here just for fun. Alrighty. We got our bubble mailer. Right. Yep. Got our bubble mailer and then our cardboard blanket on top. All right, excellent. That's it for bin number 1 on the 17th of
January 2025. This bin is done 26 days later with the Time for Pi series. And so this one is out of the series, and we will we'll be talking about other things with this bin. Thanks so much for your time and your interest. Be safe, be well. Bye for now.